Hello, and welcome back to another episode of review and recap of RuPaul's Drag Race season 13. I believe this is episode 10. Okay, great. So the girls, I'm gonna just hop right into it. I'm on a roll. So we come back off the stage. Elliot with two T's has just gone home. Utica, Elliot, and Olivia all did bad in the snatch game, and then Utica and Elliot lip sunk, and Utica sent Elliot on her way. Okay, so she's coming off, the girls are chatting as she's wiping the makeup off the mirror, and she's like, she felt good. Utica felt good after the lip sync. She says that she realizes, well, this is kind of how I interpret it, that she felt really good about giving that lip sync and it kind of energized her. And she felt fun. And people were like, are you serious, girl? And I understand why she should feel bad, but I think there's a difference between a lip sync and being in the bottom. I think being in the bottom sucks, nobody wants to be in the bottom. But I think that if I was a drag queen and the lip syncing was my favorite part of being a drag queen, you only really get to do it when you're in the bottom or when you're in the top under some circumstances. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I don't know. I just feel doing my favorite part of the art form would liven it up for me a little bit. But yeah, the girls come off the stage. Olivia's a little worried because she was in the top, and then now she's in the bottom. So yeah, that's what we're coming off of. Okay, so there was no mini challenge this week. Instead, the girls get a psychic reading. There's going to be a psychic reading. So they have some corny cutscene magic, and the girls pop up on the stage. Great. So the psychic reader, I believe her name is Char Margolis. Yeah, and she just starts sensing things in the room. I think the first thing she says is there's somebody who didn't like somebody, but now they feel the complete opposite. And Kandy Muse, she was like, that's me. She was talking about Rose because she felt that I think she was quiet or simple or plain. Yes, Kandy Muse said that Rose was plain. But now she loves her. They're having a good time. Tina Burner's dad passed away, and there was some trauma there. This stuff feels so intimate, to just be talking to y'all about it. But yeah, the psychic reader, his dad came to apologize and for not supporting him the way that he should have when he came out. It was very touching. But yeah, Tina Burner's dad died before they really had the ability to make closure. Utica also gets a visit from a baby calf. I believe she died, but Utica raised her. Her name was Clara. It was cute. It was very cute. And I think there was also maybe Denali, not Denali, girl. Maybe Denali and Rose had a little thing, or a crush. Maybe Denali had a crush on Rose. I don't know. She sensed it, but Rose has a fiance, and that would be messy. Okay, great. And then Tina Burner goes to ask, hey, do you know who will be in the top? And then corny cutscene magic rather, and the girls appear back up with RuPaul. And RuPaul says, okay, so we're going to do your doppelganger. That's they have these little riddles, you know what I mean? So that's a little piece he's dropping. So your doppelganger, whatever, girl, y'all know what I'm saying. And Char has decided which girls should be paired up together because they can learn the most from each other. And our pairs turn out to be, I think the first two they put together are Olivia Lux and Denali, Tina Burner and Rose, Utica and Simone, and that'll leave us with Kandy Muse and Gottmik. I'm excited to see how these turn out. I've already seen them. Okay, so when I watched it, I was 30 minutes late to the TV. I've only caught the last 30 minutes on Friday, but now it's Monday. And I'm watching it all. So I know how it turns out, but just from these pairings, I do think about body types, and I do feel Simone and Utica, they have similar body frames. They're skinny. They're skinny queens. And they're also good with makeup, you know what I mean? And I can see them exactly fitting into each other's work. That's one thing. Denali and Olivia Lux, I actually really liked Denali and Olivia Lux. I actually really like this pairing. I think it's a really good pairing. Tina Burner and Rose, I don't like Tina Burner's drag, truth be told, so I'm not even gonna give it too much juice. But I do feel like Rose and Tina Burner could work for each other. They probably have similar body types. The thing about Kandy Muse and Gottmik. Now, I do feel like the makeup, honestly, they kind of got a couple of challenges, truth be told. I was going to say they have different like skin tones, but if Simone and Utica could work that out, then these two certainly can. And it's also like Gottmik always does like a white face. You know what I mean? She has like a white face. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really, I guess like it could be there. Like the skin tone doesn't really matter when you're doing a white face, at least in my opinion. You know what I mean? She can just paint Kandy Muse how she would like paint herself type shit. The only thing that I struggle, like sometimes the bigger girls don't have the right kind of fabric to get the skinny girls together. You know what I mean? Or the skinny girls don't have enough fabric for the bigger person. But, you know, this is Drag Race. Okay, so the girls are in the workroom and they're getting ready and they're chatting and whatnot. So we're going through the looks. I think the first people we see are Utica and Simone. Utica's look is like, she talks about skin and how it's being like, how like life is hard to move. It's very theoretical. It's very theoretical. I'm not even exactly sure what's going on. But the skin is the toughest part of yourself. So you gotta move your skin and you really gotta push to get uncomfortable. And it's like, and theoretically it's a cool concept, but Simone was having a hard time understanding what she was complaining, like I was. But Simone is doing a Babs inspired look, a movie I love. God, we gotta say rest in peace to Natalie Desselle. One of my favorite actresses. But she was in Babs, Black American Princesses. It's very funny. It's a very good movie. If you haven't watched it, you should go watch it. But Utica is a little nervous because she doesn't want to be appropriative. But it's like, I don't think she has anything to worry about because one, like, I was gonna say a black person is doing it, but like I guess like a black person could paint somebody else in blackface, that still makes it blackface. But I don't think that's what's going on here. You know what I mean? There's a challenge, there are other extenuating circumstances, and she needs to embody Simone, not just like blackness, which is what Simone is trying to get through her head. And like if Simone can get her to understand that, they'll have a good look. Kandy Muse and Gottmik, I don't know, there might be a little bit of trouble there because they're not the same size, so they have to restructure their garments. So Kandy Muse is gonna have to take her stuff in, and they're gonna have to get creative with the amount of fabric that Gottmik has. But yeah, they're a little stressed out, but I don't know. Like, I'm nervous. So Ru talks to the girls, and he doesn't really talk about much with Olivia Lux and Denali. He speaks with Denali about how she did good in the Snatch game, and she started off winning early, but she hasn't had a complete win yet. And Denali feels like she's been steady. She said she was like bottom, safe, top, or something like that. So Ru, there's not a whole lot that goes in within this, like, but I'm just gonna go through it really quickly for you. So Ru talks to Tina Burner and Rose, talks to like Rose about how she's extra, how like if the objective was to go here, Rose goes here, and then she goes back here because she likes to flourish, and she noticed that in her fashion, and she says it's because she has a dance element. Tina Burner hasn't won yet. Ru asked her how she's gonna win. She says, I'm gonna win by being Rose. Ru makes his way over to Utica and Simone. Yeah, Ru said, so you were in the bottom last week, and Utica's like, yeah, like, how'd you like my lip sync? And Ru said, well, you're still here. Which is, it's funny, she is still here. But yeah, and he was like, just don't be in the bottom this week, girl. Move on over to Simone. Simone was feeling some type of way. I'm not sure if she was feeling some type of way or if like they needed to do this for a plot point. By them, I mean like the producing team. But anyway, so Simone is like, okay, I feel some type of way about like taking my art from Babs and then putting it on Utica's body. And Ru says, as long as you're doing it from a place of love, you don't have to worry about anything. Which, like, I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, maybe, because I guess my advice would be, like, know your intention, and that is the value of your art. What other people put it on top of it, like, doesn't matter. It doesn't make, you know what I mean? If that's not what you used it for. You can also be attentive to how it's received. He said, you ain't got to worry about nothing nobody else got to say. I think you, in some, yeah, you do need to be worried about what other people are going to say about your work, or in response to your work, or even on the behalf of your work. But yeah, but just know what your intention are and know what the truth is. So when somebody tries to take the narrative and twist it, you can say that's not it, and like you can't say that was what I was trying to do. But that's, you know, that's just my explanation of like how you should feel about your art practice. But yeah, Rue says as long as you're coming from a place of love, you have nothing to worry about. I didn't say a whole lot about like rehearsal because it wasn't like that important, truth be told. The girls walked up the runway a couple of times and showed each other this is what it looks like to walk like me. Not a whole lot happened. But while they're getting ready for the runway, some of the girls do talk, and some of them have some really touching conversations. Who, like Denali and Olivia Lux, we discovered that Denali, like her drag comes from like athletic women that she grew up around, and also her mom, who was also like very pretty, but then also like a level 6 black belt, she said. Yeah, so that's kind of what hers comes from. And then Olivia Lux spoke about like her aunts, her mom and her grandmother, and just how they all influenced her by showing her like old music, old timey things, and you know, she felt like she learned a lot from them. Yeah, it's nice like going into the like why they started doing drag. Kandy Muse and Gottmik like talks about like how their transition was the most empowering. Gottmik talks about how their transition was the most empowering thing that they had ever done, and they felt so powerful after they did it. And then like how their drag is actually like a mask, you know, it kind of looks like a mask, and how it was just like her hiding himself. Okay, so Rose comes out is Tina Burner. I don't like it. I don't like most of Tina Burner's fashion, so but she looks just like Tina. She's serving as Tina. I don't like the makeup. It's giving raccoon eye. That's the thing, I don't like it. Oh, but this is cute. This little undergarment is cute. Let me make sure I get a picture of this. This under outfit, she was cute. Tina Burner comes out Rosé. She does look like Rosé. This looks like maybe her entrance look. The pink hair. She's moving like Rosé. She's really good, but I don't like it. Again, it's like that silhouette I'm talking about, like right below the booty cut. Okay, Olivia Lux as Denali. This is cute. This definitely looks like Denali. There's no shoe. I wish there was a shoe. And the look they showed us, she had a little puff on the shoe, but there's no puff on these shoes. I'm tired of Denali not giving us a good shoe look. But yeah, she looks like her with the ponytail, with the... Denali comes out as Olivia Lux, and this is gorgeous. It's very much a look that I think Olivia Lux would wear. But I am kind of like... I just feel like for this challenge that she should have brought out her little purse. I do think that like this like big fur coat, it's gorgeous, and I do see Olivia Lux in this, but there's no a little purse. I was expecting a purse. Symone is Utica. Yeah, this is very much Utica, and she's working it. She's working this. I really do love this look. It's gorgeous. I like how like Utica don't necessarily have like, it's not a dress, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a piece of fabric that you have to work. It's like tight on the body. It really is a piece of art. And Simone makes it look good. Simone did this beat. Look at her face. Look at her face. Look at her face. Look at her face. Simone is like, she's sickening. She's sickening. Sickening Simone is what I'm going to call her. But I love this. I love Bab. She looks just like her. And like, she's giving us something else. You know, she's not giving us weird. Like Simone really did turn it out so where she's giving us Simone. Gottmik is giving us Kandy Muse. I'm not sure if I like the look. Yeah, I don't think I like it. It is Tina Burner's color palette. Not that Tina Burner owns it, but I don't know. I'm not in love with it. Kandy Muse looks great. I really love this outfit. She's giving us, hey, gorge. But she looks good. Kandy Muse looks good. She really looks good in Gottmik's drag. I like how she kind of gave us this like half mug. It's great. I love this. And Kandy Muse is really working it. Okay, so Ru asked the girls who should go home tonight, and they get to vote in. Now, most of the people say Olivia. I'm not even gonna save you. I'm not even gonna hold you. Who was it? I got the list. Rose said Olivia. Tina Burner said Olivia. And everybody's reason is because of what's going on tonight. Olivia says Utica because of the competition. She said, I'm gonna base my choice on like the entirety of the competition. She wasn't gonna say herself, of course not. So she said Utica. Makes sense. Utica hasn't had a good competition week in weeks. And she didn't want to vote for herself. Denali said Kandy Muse because her look looked more like a Tina Burner look. Simone said Olivia. Utica said Olivia. Denali said Olivia. Kandy Muse, she popped up. She said, Kandy Muse popped up and she said, okay, first off, I didn't know that Tina Burner owned red, orange, and yellow. Didn't know she owned the fire color palette, which is a good point. And she said, Gottmik and I turned it. We had the hardest challenge out of everybody on here and we turned it. And like we had the hardest time, so there's no reason why Olivia and Denali should be down there not looking up to par when we had the hardest time. Good point. And she said for that reason her vote was gonna go to Olivia and Denali. Yeah, so then the judges get into the critiques and they start talking about and they just go down the line and they're talking about Rose and Tina Burner, and they said they look like each other. I said Tina Burner's like look, it isn't elevated, it's kind of questionable, but it did look like Tina Burner, which was the challenge, and then they had fun with it. Up next with Olivia and Denali, I said that Denali didn't give Olivia. She didn't give Olivia. And Michelle Visage also said she wasn't 100% sure that's how Denali does her own makeup. But there was none of that bubbly, vivacious energy that they expect from Olivia Lux. They didn't see that in Denali or in her look. Up next to Simone and Utica, and they said that they did a really good job. They came out, and they could tell that they were who they were supposed to be, but they came out and it was still like glamorous and elevated and high fashion, and they took really well to the challenge. What do they say about Gottmik and Kandy Muse? They said they really sold it. They really sold it. Yeah, they said that they had so much fun that they could tell. Cause they said that the outfit that Gottmik had on, it was loud. You know what I mean? But it was really up to Gottmik to selling the Kandy Muse experience to make that outfit work, which she did. Now with Kandy Muse, when she came around the corner, there was of course that's Gottmik. You know what I mean? But again, that's Gottmik's drag. You know, Gottmik has a fucking white face. She's the only one on the stage who usually does something like a white fucking face. It'd be really hard to not get Gottmik wrong. But she also came out and sold it too with the moaning and the hey gorge. Yeah, and they were fun. Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, to me it's pretty clear that Denali and Olivia are gonna be in the bottom. So the girls come back out and Simone and Utica win the challenge. They both get a cash prize of $5,000, which they rightly deserve. This is just and true, and I agree with the results of this competition. And to no one's surprise, Olivia and Denali are in the bottom and they have to lip sync. Now, they lip sync to Praise You by Mary Mary, which is a gospel song. It's very funny. I think it's a little funny. Let me get a quick screenshot. We love Denali. It's very funny to watch them doing this. Simone says it's comedy, but it's just interesting. It's interesting. But it's good. They both give it a good lip sync, but I do think that Olivia Lux did a better job. Denali didn't. Denali actually had a reveal that she didn't want to use because that wasn't how she wanted to do this religious song. I guess I can see it, but I'd have ripped the shit out. She ain't bust no sweats or nothing. She said the judges saw that from her already, but still, you gotta go 100. But in the end, Olivia Lux wins. Denali goes home. Olivia, it's dramatic, girl. Olivia Lux is breaking down, crying on the floor. It's real sad. Yeah, and that's the end of our episode. Yeah, so it just kind of sucks, but this is just how the cookie crumbles. I do think that there is a possibility in another world, maybe Denali like ripped off that last piece and out like lip sang Olivia Lux, but she didn't want to do that, and I don't know, maybe she shot herself in the foot. But now she's talking about coming back to All Stars. But that is the episode, and thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Let me know what you think about this episode, and go ahead and watch another video. Watch another video. It's like Simone. All right, y'all have a good night. Bye.